Next at 11, a bear attack leaves a man scarred, hurt, protecting his dog. How they got to safety.
Cold tonight, even colder next week. We're pinpointing the chill at 11.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 11 p.m.
Now at 11, bundle up for a blast of cold air tonight. A chilly morning, then a day to get ready for back-to-back cold fronts. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas pinpoints what you can expect where you live.
I hugged him and I just sobbed heavily because my dogs are like my kids.
Grateful for a neighbor she had never met. How he saved her dogs while she helplessly watched her home burn online, and why an ATV may be to blame. Also, the first launch of the new year lit up the night sky, why 2025 could break more records, and we could see some first in just days.
It dropped my dog and then attacked me and bit me in my stomach.
A local man left scarred how he confronted the bear that attacked his pup, and that bear was not alone.
I couldn't let her die. She was screaming in pain, and, you know, we love our pets.
It is our top story on clickorlando.com, but we start now at 11 tonight with the cold. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Matt has the night off. And yes, tonight will be cold. And yes, some of you could wake up to frost, but even colder weather is on the way next week. Let's get right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas with a lowdown on how cold things are going to get. Jonathan.
Yeah, this round of chilly air that's coming in tonight, it's on par with what we've seen so far this season. It's really once we get into next week, that's going to be the bigger stuff that rolls through. Chilly out there right now, though. We're hanging around 50 in Mount Dora, 50 degrees in Kissimmee. We're at 51 in Holopah. Potential for frost is there, really limited northwest of I-4. Again, you see that patchy pink color there for Sumter County, into parts of Marion County, interior Flagler, northwest Volusia County, northern Lake County. That's going to be our best potential to wake up for some frost. Now, tomorrow, cold start, 30s and 40s. Most of us in the lower 40s by 7 o'clock. Crystal clear skies. It's just going to be deceptive sunshine. We're at 53 by 11 tomorrow, 58 degrees by 1. We'll top out around 60 degrees tomorrow. The colder air blasts in. Once we get into the early part of next work week, we're going to pinpoint the arrival of not one, but two more fronts coming our way in a few minutes, Ginger.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. New at 11 tonight, a local mom says her family is starting the new year trying to rebuild. Their home burned just a few days before Christmas. They think somehow a four-wheeler sparked the whole thing. Their home is on Carrick Road in Port St. John. That's a little south of Fay Boulevard and west of Grissom Parkway. But this could have happened anywhere. They lost their Christmas presents, but as she told News 6's Troy Campbell, their dogs made it out thanks to a neighbor she had never met. Developing tonight at 11, traffic is back to normal hours after Orlando police confronted and then shot a convicted murderer. Police say Orange County deputies alerted them this afternoon to reports of a man dressed in all black carrying a gun. They met up with him on John Young Parkway outside a BP gas station close to the Greyhound bus station north of the 408. After he refused several orders to drop the gun, the police chief says his officers opened fire, calling it a matter of public safety.
Yeah, anytime you respond to a call like that with a person with a gun in their hand at a busy intersection, because John Young and Old Winter Gardens right there, very busy, four lanes going each way, a very busy intersection, you know you have to keep the public safe, and that's your primary job. So you got to keep everybody safe. There's a lot of people at the busy business of BP, so you got to make a judgment call. You got to act.
The chief says the man is in stable condition in the hospital. We do not know his name, but they say he is a convicted felon who served 20 years in prison for a murder in Miami. The officer who fired the shot was not hurt and is on leave as the FDLE investigates. New at 11, the first launch of 2025 is in the history books tonight, and a communications satellite is in orbit.
Ignition and liftoff. Go Soraya.
Pretty perfect looking start to 2025 for SpaceX. Its Falcon 9 sent up a telecommunications satellite meant for Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. We brought you the launch live on News 6 and clickorlando.com. And we also brought you the touchdown at sea about 8.5 minutes later. SpaceX is planning an ambitious year. So it plans to top the record 88 launches carried out in Florida last year. The previous Florida record was 74 launches set in 2023. The company carried out 134 Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy flights nationwide, more launches than anyone else. And SpaceX is also betting big on the future. 1 week from today, the company hopes to send up the 7th test flight of its ultra heavy lift Starship system from Texas. This is video of that test flight back in December, which the company says made a lot of progress. They have used that data to make improvements for this 7th upcoming flight. And this one will try again to catch the first stage back at the pad with a system they call chopsticks. They pulled that off in October. It was pretty cool, too. Again, the test is tentatively set for January 10th. And SpaceX is not the only innovator here. The maiden flight of Blue Origin's heavy lift rocket, the New Glenn, could happen as soon as early Monday morning. The New Glenn is built at a rocket factory Blue Origin built on Kennedy Space Center land, not far from the visitor center. Now, the first New Glenn will carry up a new spacecraft that can refuel satellites. It's a first stage. It will land on a barge out at sea. And of course, we will keep you posted on those launch plans as we hear from both companies at clickorlando.com/space. Well, a lot of people would go to great lengths to protect their pets. In Orange City, a man needs rabies shots after being bitten by a bear while trying to save his little dog. 2 weeks later, he is still recovering and sharing his story with News 6's Molly Reed. And in case you were wondering, the bite force of a black bear is 800 psi, or pounds per square inch. That is greater than a lion, and experts say it is more than enough to break bones and just a little short of being strong enough to crush a bowling ball. For an in-depth look at bear encounters statewide over the years, including an interactive map, head on over to clickorlando.com. Record fines set for JetBlue Airline. Ahead at 11, why the feds are slapping the airline for millions of dollars and how much could end up given to customers.
I know I got to keep on doing this for my daughter, because if not, then she just becomes a statistic.
We don't need any more statistics. We just need voices. So we get to be the voice.
Two parents forever changed by distracted and drunk driving are turning their pain into purpose. Next, how they are teaming up to get results. You're watching News 6 at 11, live on a Friday night, getting results for Altamont Springs, the Milk District, and all of Central Florida.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Rubenstein Law.
Across America with Mega Jackpots, it's Mega Millions.
What's up, America? I'm John Crow. It's Friday, January 3rd, and tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated annuitized $42 million. To win that jackpot, you must bet C's 5 white balls plus that gold mega ball. Now, let's see if I can make you a millionaire tonight. Our first winning number tonight is 20, followed by 46. Up next, we have 59. Your next number is 42, and your final white ball number for this Friday evening is 69. Now for the mega ball number, that is 19. Again, tonight's winning numbers are 20, 46, 59, 42, 69, and the gold mega ball is 19. Now, if no matches all 6 numbers, Tuesday's jackpot could be $62 million. Good luck, have a great weekend, and play on, America.
Insiders.
What is a News 6 Insider? Find out at clickorlando.com/insider.
Now at 11, two families both left grieving by distracted and drunk driving. We are sharing the story of a mom on a mission and a dad determined to make a difference for his daughter. They want you to hear their message, a message they shared with News 6's Catherine Silver. She is doing a lot of good. Well, tonight, a historic fine could mean money in the pockets of some Central Floridians. The Department of Transportation announced this morning it is fining JetBlue $2 million for chronically late flights, including some to and from Orlando International Airport. It is the first time an airline has been fined for routes that arrive more than 30 minutes late, more than half the time. Investigators found nearly 400 delays and cancellations along 4 routes, including between Orlando and JFK between June of 2022 and November 2023. The feds blame JetBlue for more than 70% of those delays. But the airline is pushing back on that, stressing it has invested tens of millions of dollars to reduce delays over the past 2 years, adding, quote, we believe accountability for reliable air travel equally lies with the U.S. government, which operates our nation's air traffic control system. A JetBlue spokesman said the incoming administration should prioritize modernizing what he called outdated air traffic control technology and understaffing of controllers who are hired by the FAA. As to that statement, or settlement, I should say, half of the fines will go to the U.S. Treasury. The other half will be paid back to passengers whose flights were delayed on those routes. Payments will start at $75 each. It's better than nothing, I guess. All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with a look at our forecast. And if you think it's going to be chilly this weekend, just wait until next week.
Yeah, that's right. We have a couple of cold fronts we are tracking. The first one is really coming through tonight. It's going to take us back to where we've been so far this season. This chill that's coming in tonight's on par with where we've been already. But as Ginger mentioned, it's going to get colder. That's after a brief warm-up. And it is going to be very, very brief. Really Sunday afternoon into Monday. That Monday system, though, going to usher in a much bigger round of colder air. That's going to arrive by Tuesday, and it could even be reinforced again late in the week with even colder air. So it's really next week. That's the biggest round of colder air that we are tracking. Here's our current front that's heading towards North Florida right now. It's going to push through Central Florida overnight, giving us that extra push of cooler air. Most of us are in the 50s right now. That'll take us back down to the 40s, a few of us into the upper 30s. And you can see the divide for where we stand at the 50s in Orlando, even 50s in Jacksonville, but now to the 30s in Atlanta, at the freezing mark in Nashville. This is the cooler air, colder air that's coming our way through the overnight hours and by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Temperatures tomorrow, again, mostly in the 40s. Average low temperatures this time of the year right around 50. So we're just shaving off about 5 or so degrees from where we should be around the city. Beautiful anyway. 39 in the Villages, a little colder. In Ocala, we're at 37. 36 degrees in Denellen tomorrow. Tons of sunshine. You can forget about that. It's going to be gorgeous, just on the cooler side. 62 in Orlando. We're at 64 in Kissimmee. And in St. Cloud, Poinciana, celebration if we're heading out into the afternoon, looking pretty good. We're going to fast forward now to Sunday. Big chunk of high pressure overhead that's going to keep us nice and cold when you wake up Sunday morning. But as it heads off the Atlantic, we have clockwise flow around areas of high pressure. It's going to push that wind out of the south and east, pumping in some of that extra warmth to our south, out ahead of our next system, which arrives on Monday. So here we go. That's Monday early in the morning. You see the arrows representing that warm wind direction out of the south. It's going to put us back to the mid to upper 70s for highs. Next shot of rain also comes through as this cold front, and it's a big one that crosses through on Monday. That'll put rain chances to about 20 to 30%. It's the cold that blasts in behind it. That's going to be for Monday evening, and then really by the time we wake up on Tuesday and through the day on Tuesday. So a wild ride in the weather department. Starting this weekend, we're at 62 degrees again tomorrow. We'll jump into the low 70s on Sunday, mid to upper 70s on Monday. But again, that's a cold front that's coming through. It'll put rain chances again at about 20 to 30%. We'll wake up in the 30s and 40s on Tuesday. Highs on Tuesday, Ginger, only in the low to mid 50s. And then most everybody wakes up into the 30s on Wednesday morning. So some big time cold coming on the pipeline.
Sir, the 50s is not a high. Thank you, Jonathan. Here are tonight's Florida lottery numbers. Pick 2, 9-4. Pick 3, 4-9-2. Pick 4, 3-1-4-4. And pick 5, 9-4-7-8-8. And that fireball is 9. Jackpot triple play, 24, 28, 12, 38, 4, and 15. Fantasy 5, 17, 27, 7, 10, and 8. And cash for life, 12, 25, 28, 47, 55. And the cash ball is 1. Good luck. Tonight, a dino discovery is thrilling scientists across the pond. Ahead at 11, the unexpected place where about 200 dinosaur footprints turned up and what the find tells us about prehistoric beasts in Britain.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
I gotta get things started.
Get things started with News 6 Mornings. You gotta watch before you go.
As a trooper, I know how every crash is going to affect your commute. So watch me on News 6 Mornings.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
Well, British scientists are super excited about an incredible dinosaur discovery that happened by accident. About 200 dinosaur footprints were discovered at an English limestone quarry last June. The nearly 500-foot area where they were found has now been fully uncovered. It took more than 100 scientists, students, and volunteers to dig it all up, and already scientists are learning a bunch.
It's a snapshot in the life of the animal. You can learn things about how that animal moved. You can learn how fast it was moving. You can learn exactly what the environment that it was living in was like.
I want to know all of it. The scientists are working with the operators of the quarry and England's preservation body on options for preserving this pretty fantastic site.
You think it was a T-Rex? Maybe it was a T-Rex.
I don't know if you can tell by the arms. They just found the footprints.
But just the footprints.
I don't
It didn't
know.
look like a brontosaurus or a brachiosaurus.
Oh, wow. Look at our dinosaur expert. Not only is she a sports director, Jamie Say joins us now. And Jamie, say it isn't so. We're talking about another Magic injury. What is happening?
So the team, the Magic, have fought through key injuries all season. We know this. And tonight against Toronto, they suffered another one.
Oh,
this is
that looks
Jalen
bad.
Suggs on the floor in so much pain that he needed wheelchair assistance. Now, his diagnosis, though, is a pretty common ailment. Details and game highlights coming up next.
Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
All right, Jamie, you showed us some pretty scary video as we went to break.
You know what was interesting is that Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner suffered pretty significant injuries with those oblique muscles, but they didn't look like they were in any pain. Jalen Suggs.
Oh, he looked like he was hurt.
He was hurt, that's for sure. Okay, so the Orlando Magic shoot lights out tonight in Toronto. That's the good news. They won. But guard Jalen Suggs left the court in the second quarter in so much pain that he needed a wheelchair. I'm going to show you in a second. So quarterback help is coming.
Man, Frost is really just racking up some really key spots.
21st transfer portal.
All right, thank you, Jamie, and thank you for joining us for the news tonight. Have a wonderful weekend. Bundle up, stay warm. Bye.
It's not the heat, it's the humidity, right? How many times do you hear that here in Central Florida? Because it's true. Here in Central Florida, not only do we follow the actual temperatures in the summer, but it's that feels like temperatures that will make it feel even hotter. Did you know that the humidity can make temperatures feel between 10 to 15 degrees hotter than the actual temperature? That's called feels like. Let me explain. Think of your body as having an internal AC unit, regulating the temperatures to make sure you don't go too hot or too cold. Now, one way that the body cools down is by sweating, and it's the evaporation that helps cool down your temperature. But we've got a problem. It's called humidity. When the air is super saturated with moisture, it doesn't allow the sweat on our skin to evaporate, which is why our bodies are thinking it's way hotter than that. Get it? Feels like temperatures.